celebrating 47 years of nationhood. And year after year, securing the Independence Celebration Secretariat administers the Parish Ambassador program in order to celebrate our nationhood. Are you our Parish Ambassador and Attendant for 2013 that we're looking for? Our report Parish Attendant for the year 2012, Mrs. Misha Husband Browne. She was the attendant to Miss Dion Accolade and Omari, who are our Parish Ambassadors for 2012. So Misha, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Okay, thank you for joining us here today. Could you tell us of your experience as a Parish Attendant as it relates to the Parish Project and the intentions of our Parish Ambassador?
Our training will start in March. We've gone right through to actually the night before the Spirit Recognition show. During that time, we have touched on several topics, including etiquette, time management, financial matters, the whole array. What I will say is that it was time consuming because we found that at one point in time, almost every Saturday we had a training session at end, and then there were evenings where, you would leave work and go and become mummies. We were sitting on these training sessions with these young people, to make sure that they have the skills basically that is needed for being good.
So you saw these training sessions as relevant to today's youth?
Basically, yes. There are a lot of things that generally they may not have been exposed to otherwise that the program did permit to happen.
Okay, so how did it feel as a attendant? Was it necessarily the mummy role, or was it just the attendant?
I think my role as it relates to them was multifaceted. It had many approaches. There were times where we were friends. There were times where, as you said, I did become mummy, so to speak. There were times where I guess I was like a mentor to them. I think we went through the whole array of possible relationships that, could exist in such a setting.
So this year's national theme was Craftsmen of Our Faith, Pride and Unity, correct?
Inspiring Pride and Unity.
Right. So what was the feeling of our project, and how did we go to get that?
When the committee met, they formulated the sub-theme out of the national theme, Builders of Our Faith, because you were, I am. That project basically was supposed to take a look at persons who could help to shape the parish into becoming what it is. Tangibly, today we have honored the Chief Protocol Officer for the Hill, who was taking the time to honor John's name, as well as Manolo Singh and RTB Reclass Advice. We also took the time to invite him to listen to him and remove each one as the two persons who would not only contribution to St. Philip, like where we are right now. There is only maybe people that would have been gentlemen. Given this land to become what it is today, King George V Memorial Park, he was also honored and named by the name of the state. Apparently, she's the only person that has ever beaten the Right Honorable Aaron Washington Barrow at the federal election. There were other persons such as the Stout and the Seals. There would have been the Fords and the St. Gauls, the Weddenburg and the Wiltshires. So we would have taken the time to, although we may have physically had events for the persons I mentioned before, everyone was honored within their own right.
Okay. So throughout this mobilizing Parish project, which one event stood out to you that would have covered the theme because
you were, I am? I think that would have been one of the first major events we had, Night of the Griots. That was at the training in residence, where we honored the Chief Protocol Officer for the health as well as John King for their contribution to the arts, basically.
Okay. You've been a Parish Ambassador in 2003, and for 2012 you were the Parish Attendant. So how does the experience as a Parish Attendant help you to struggle as a Parish Attendant?
How did the role help? Because of the familiarity of the program, I was able to share things with my two young persons offer a sense of guidance to the committee, because apart from myself, there was no one else on the committee who had ever served in such a capacity. We did not really for designation. So I think that's one of the things that attracts young people to the program, the spirit of nations, yes. And from the beginning I said to them, listen, you may be tired enough as we go through the training sessions and we try to balance it with everything else in your life. But you see, when we get to November, that weekly program, it's that long night, You need to make sure that you're eating properly and taking your vitamins and all this kind of thing, because you're going to need your energy for it, And then I'll be able to release my personal experiences from the program for them to get a better understanding of what it was I was actually saying to them.
So you playing preparation from your personal experiences, so you playing adapting well to those. You playing the training sessions that they will have, and your thought as being a Parish Ambassador to attendant, you playing that they were using it well on stage?
I think they used it to the best of their ability. I mean, we did have sessions before the week, which gave them a little insight as to what to expect during that week. So for them, I believe a lot of what they heard from the presenter was just reinforcing what I would have shared with them before, as it pertains to what to expect.
So now that you have become and your tenure for Parish Attendant is soon over, what is there to motivate another person to be in Parish Attendant for them?
Simply the love of community. The love of community, and for young people, I think would be the driving force. What I will say, you will have your challenges, because you are dealing with other humans, and we know how human relationships go, but you will have your moments also where you get discouraged. You will experience the whole array of emotions. But you have to remember, at the end of the day, why you're doing what you're doing. It's not about you, it's about your community. The program is one that draws on your resources, especially as an attendant, because it is my responsibility to make sure that the ambassadors are where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there, and all that goes with that, in terms of being properly attired, etc. So it draws on your resources, both physically, financially, mentally, emotionally, but where's the question again?
How would you motivate one not to be considered a Parish Attendant?
As I said,
you're saying
community. Once you have the development of persons at heart, I think that is what you need above all. Noting that it's not about you, but it's about your community and what you can do for your community.
So you have been running Parish Ambassadors, well, not only 6 Parish Ambassadors, but the other 10 Parish Ambassadors and attendants. Not only as an attendant, but as a Parish Ambassador. You have seen the program from 2 different sides. Is there anything that you would like to see change in order to have further progress in program? I know there's a lot, right? But let's keep it short.
Personally, I don't know. Maybe because I've had the experience before, and there's so many persons out there who are yet to have the experience. But in order to remain relevant and current, ever so often we need to
tweak it a bit.
Sit, stay back, observe, revamp, come fresh, so that you don't lose the enthusiasm or zeal that's really there at the end of the day. You have to remain relevant to realize that times are changing, and unless you stand to be left behind, you need to change somewhat with. I mean, there's certain things, yes, that we hold to that we don't want to change, but there are other things that we need to, just tweak a bit in order to remain relevant.
Okay. Well, we thank you for your insight and your experience as a Parish Attendant, and we hope that you have encouraged those to be next year's Parish Attendant. So there we have it. This is Mr. Husband from our Parish Attendant for the year 2012. Are you that Parish Attendant for the year 2013? Well, Go on down to Community Independent Secretariat at their office at Mall International, Tiger Hall, St. Michael, or give them a call at 310-2700.